Hello friends, good morning. Let's start with today's discussion that I forget to discuss one of the very interesting and important functions by which we can represent the recursion of our recursion concept or recursive function concept in C programming. While I already discussed about recursion, that what is recursion? Recursion is a process which is actually used. We can use the recursion process for the code reusability purpose. That means we use the recursion function to call itself again and again, but it has one disadvantage that every recursion or recursive function must have an exit condition or termination loop. Otherwise, termination condition. Otherwise, the recursion function has the affinity to fail into the infinite loop, which as a programmer we don't want. Okay, that our program will fail in an infinite loop. So this is all about recursion. Recursion is the function which call itself again and again to reducing to do the same job again and again, to write the same code again and again. Without doing that, we will call the functions with the help of recursion concept again and again in C to do the repetitions, right? So today our discussion is focusing on one of the very interesting mathematical function whose name is Ackermann function, right? So in recursive function, I already discussed about two or three important mathematical functions by which we can, if we perform recursion, we can solve those problems like to find factorial of a number, or to find the Fibonacci series, or to find GCD of a number, greatest common divisor of a number. So these are all example of recursion. But today I'm going to show you something little bit different, an Ackermann function, which is a very interesting and which actually misinterpret the concept of that all the total of the functions are always primitive recursive. Okay, so Ackermann function discontinued this concept. It was the concept of early 1900s, but at that time people were saying that all total computable functions are primitive in nature. But Ackermann functions, Ackermann is one of the famous mathematician who actually negate this concept, and he actually developed a function which actually does that all total computable functions are not primitive recursive. We will check what is the job of the recursion function and how we can represent it. Okay, so let me share the screen. So what is recursion function? Recursive function. Sorry, what is Ackermann function? Ackermann function is a function which contains two arguments, right? And all these two arguments are non-negative integers. Please remember, Ackermann function is a function which contains two arguments, and all these arguments are non-negative integers. That means no negative integers allowed as a argument of the Ackermann function. So this is the Ackermann function which I have been represented. This you should remember. This is one of the definition of Ackermann function, or you can say declaration of Ackermann function. In Ackermann function, here we will consider two argument m, and the second argument is n. So when m not equals to 0, the first condition tells that when m equals to 0 as per the C programming, or you can say mathematical point of view, that if m equals to 0, we can say the second argument will be incremented by 1. That means n plus 1. That is our terminating condition. Please remember, in case of recursive function, if we will represent this Ackermann function by the help of recursive function, this will be our terminating conditions. M equals to 0. If I am not giving this terminating conditions, or the Ackermann function does not allow this terminating condition, this Ackermann function will never terminate, and it will always running into an infinite loop. Clear? Just like if you remember the Fibonacci, if you remember the factorial of a number, the terminating condition one, when factorial of a number, when the number is equal to 0, then the factorial return always 1. Okay. So that was the terminating condition for the factorial of a number, and this is the terminating condition for the Ackermann function. If m equals to 0, the first argument is equal to 0, then the terminating condition will be n plus 1. Now the second case, if m greater than 0, always I am saying that Ackermann function is actually a non-negative integers, assigned non-negative integers, negation is not allowed. So m greater than 0, or you can say m not equals to 0. Not equals to 0 means always greater than 0 because it is non-negative integers, right? So if m not equals to 0, or m greater than 0 and n equals to 0, then this function you will call the recursive function this one, a of m comma m minus 1 comma 1. So the first argument will be m minus 1, and the second argument will be 1. If m greater than 0 and n greater than 0, that means both are not equals to 0, non-negative integers, m not equals to 0 and n not equals to 0. In that case, we will call this recursive function a of m minus 1, and within the second argument, we will call the same recursive function again, which is a of m comma n minus 1. That the same thing we will represent by the help of C programming. The C programming code is very easy for this. I will show you. It is very easy. We will just give three conditions within if loop this one, if else loop this one, and another else loop this one. And under each and every condition, the body of the conditions statement will be the recursive call of its own functions, right? That we will represent. Let me check you one example where we can apply recursive functions, Ackermann function. Let me just discuss about the time complexity of this algorithm. Please remember it, okay? That is the time complexity of recursive function is big O of m a of m comma n to compute a of m comma n. If the function is a of m comma n you are computing, then it is a big O of m of a of m comma n, and that space complexity is big O of m, okay, to compute the function a of m comma n. Please remember it, because time complexity, space complexity sometimes came. Especially it is important for the sorting and searching sort of algorithms, which I already discussed. Now the value that we are going to solve, that is a of 1 comma 2, the function that we are going to solve by the help of Ackermann function, that is a of 1 comma 2, where the value of m is 1 and n is 2. Both are non-negative integers, so we can easily move forward with the help of Ackermann function, right? So given the problem a of n comma 2, here the first case a of 1 comma 2, if you remember this formula, please remember this formula. This formula is very important. When m not when m equals to 0, n plus 1. When m not equals to 0 or greater than 0 and n equals to 0, m minus 1 comma 1. And when m and n both are greater than 0, then m minus 1 and a of m comma n minus 1. Please remember it. We are going to apply this one. So in the first case, a of 1 comma 2, that means m greater than 0 as well as n greater than 0, right? M greater than 0 is n greater than 0. So third condition satisfied. So this function will execute. So in the first case, 1 and 2, if you remember, m value was 1 and n value was 2. So our next recursion call will be 1 minus 1 means 0, comma a of 1, comma 2 minus 1 means 1, 0, comma 1, 0, comma 1, comma 1. So that is the first recursive call. You can understand as per the Ackermann function, a of 0, comma 1 minus 1. So m minus 1, comma m, comma n minus 1. This thing has actually happened. Now in the second case, if we are solving this internal recursive function, this Ackermann function a of 1 comma 1, which is always, which also satisfy the condition of third one, that is m greater than 0 and n greater than 0. In that case, a of 1 comma 1 equal to a of 0 comma 1 comma 0, right? So that is the second. This is the internal representation of this function. Okay, a of 1 comma 1. Now 1 comma 0. In that case, m is greater than 0 and n equals to 0. M is greater than, so the second condition satisfied. So a of m minus 1 comma 1. So a of m minus 1, which one is m here? 1. So 1 minus 1 means 0, comma 1. So 0, comma 1. This one. Now when it is 0, comma 1, it satisfies the first condition. Okay, m equals to 0. So n plus 1 will execute. Terminating condition reached. So in this function, terminating condition reached. So a of 0, comma 1 is 2. Is 1 plus 1, 2. N plus 1. So n is here 1. So n plus 1 means 2. So a of 0, 1 represents 2, but that is not the final answer, because a of 0, 1 is a part of this function, a of 0, 1, 0. Okay. So a of 0, 1. So right now the second one is a of 1, 1 that we are going to calculate. A of 1, 1 is actually a of 0, 2. So when it's 0, 2, again the first condition satisfied. Now the value of n is 2. So new value of the terminating condition value will be of n will be 2 plus 1, 3. Now this is not also not the final answer. Okay, again this is the sub part of this function a of 1, 2. So a of 1, 2 is equal to actually a of 0, 2. Now right, so right now 0, 3 actually. So 0, 3 means actually 3 plus 1, 4. This is a of 0, 3. So a of 1, 2 is equal to 0, 3. 3 plus 1 equal to 4. So the final answer of a of 1, 2 is 4. So that is the Ackermann function. Now at your home you should try this thing. A of 2, 1 is equal to 5 or a of 2, 2 equal to 7. Okay. To understand the use of Ackermann function, you have to solve these two examples by your own hand, right? Just like this one. Okay, a of 1, 2. Okay, it's very simple. I think you can understand these things. So first case, I'm repeating these things again. When m equals m greater than 0 and n greater than 0, 1, 2. So it will be satisfy the third condition. Third condition say that a of m minus 1, which is 0, comma a of m minus 1, comma 1. Okay. So a of m, comma n minus 1. So m means 1 and n minus 1 means 1. Now we are going to apply the Ackermann functions conditions on the internal recursive function a of 1, 1. A of 1, 1, after applying the internal recursive function, it will look like this, A of 0, 1, 0. Now we will apply the same recursive Ackermann function in another internal recursive function, A of 1, 0, which will be represented A of 0, 1. Now it reached the mating conditions because m equals to 0. In that case, it will add the n plus 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. Now these 2 will return for this function. In this function, we have 0, 2. So now if you have 0, 2 means actually 3. Now A of 0, 3 will return into the first function A of 0, 3. So now A of 0, 3 is also a terminating condition. So 3 plus 1, 4. So A of 1, 2 is equal to 4. Clear? So I'm just writing down this code. This code is very simple. Okay, a main method is there. We are just supplying the variable where the Ackermann result will store. That means the 4 will return and store into a variable A, which has been printed by percentage integer value. Very simple. Now here we have done the first call 1, 2. You can do a runtime input. You can give a runtime input of m and n. Okay, I have given, for sake of simplicity, I have given a compile time input 1 and 2 directly, for which function we have already evaluated. So 1, 2, it will return the value 4 here. So this is the recursive function, okay, which arguments are same, integer type. The first argument for m, second argument for n. So we will just write down all the 3 conditions. Very simple. If m equals to 0, return n plus 1. Else if this is a terminating condition, please remember this condition is the stopping rule, or you can say terminating condition, stopping criteria or terminating condition for the recursive functions. Very, very important to remember, right? If this condition is not there, then recursive function will never convert to the ultimate value. Okay, it will fall into the loop of infinite. Now else if this is else if m greater than 0 and n equals to 0, it will call its own Ackermann function again as a recursive call. This is actually a recursive call. Okay, and this is also a recursive call. The third condition is also a recursive call. These 2 recursive call is there. So very simple, just representation of the same formula in the form of codes. Now we are going to run it to check it whether the value is correct or not. Let's check the value of the function 1, 2 is 4, right? So we'll apply the value for the other 2 functions like A of 2, 1, which should be 5. So let's check it whether it is correctly working or not. A of 2, 1, check the value. 5 correctly working, right? Now we'll check one more, A of 2, 2, which is actually 7. Okay. So check. Let's change the value of n. A of 2, 2 is 7. So our Ackermann function code is correctly running. Okay, everyone, please practice this code. Okay, and I think this concept of Ackermann function is clear to you. Thanks for watching. So I am going to stop the video here.